Hi, hello everyone. I am Jesse Mosley. I am making my first video on Rumble, so bear with me. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's the first time I've ever made a live on Rumble. So I am very new to this. I have been making videos though for about a year. I started on YouTube. I still do YouTube videos actually, but not political ones. On YouTube, I make more videos that are catered to people who like to travel. I am an American who lives in the Philippines as of right now. I love to travel. It's something that I take great pleasure in is traveling. But I also really like politics. Now, the reason I don't make political videos on YouTube, though, is because YouTube might not like some of the things that I say. And I don't want to get in any kind of trouble with YouTube and any of that stuff. So I've really decided that my best option is probably to do live videos on Rumble when it comes to politics because I am very fringe on some of my political beliefs. Now, to give you a little bit of information about myself, I am 35 years old. I have a Filipina fiance. I went to the military and I was there for only one contract and I left. And after I left, that's when I came here to the Philippines. And now I'm here enjoying my life. I'm getting a master's in space studies. I'm almost complete. I've almost completed that endeavor in my life. I love space. I love to understand how the universe began and how it's going to end, or at least some of the theories on what we believe will happen at the end of time with the universe. When it comes to politics, the people that I tend to listen to the most, well, the person I listen to the most for sure would be Tim Pool. And he's one of the reasons I have a Rumble account. Him and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, I don't listen to as much for politics. I'm more into some of the motivational stuff that Andrew Tate talks about. But I also like Nick Fuentes. I know that that's a controversial take, and that's another reason I don't want to post too much about it on YouTube because YouTube does not like him, and neither does TikTok. Luckily, I've been seeing stuff on Instagram. I guess Instagram has loosened up a little bit on some of the policies with that. Same with Facebook and X, of course. He's cool on there. So I listen to him, but not near as much as I listen to Tim Pool. I also listen to Piers Morgan, but it's mostly because I like to listen to the debates that go on there. It's very interesting to me to see how people talk back and forth to one another. And some of those debates have swayed my opinion one way or another. Also, Tim Pool, some of the stuff that he has said has really swayed some of the things that I believe. In particular, with this shooting that happened with ICE and the guy from Minnesota. I still don't know if I fully agree with Tim on that, but his points make a lot of sense to me, and I can understand where he's coming from. What else? What else is there to know about me? I okay. I guess you probably can get an idea of where I come from politically. So I tend to be more conservative or Republican on issues that matter the most to me. Now, I also have a lot of liberal beliefs, but the thing with the liberal beliefs is that they're not as important to me as the beliefs that I have that align more with the conservative view. And I also have some libertarian views. So my view on drugs is whatever. As long as you can control yourself and you don't do any harm to anyone and you're taking care of your family, you're doing all of your obligations like that. Whatever. If you want to do drugs, do drugs. My biggest thing that would, because I also have a degree in psychology and criminal justice as well, I learned a little bit about how the brain has developed. And I would say that things like drugs and alcohol and nicotine, as you can see, I use a lot of nicotine myself, but things like that, they should be legal, but they should raise the age on which you're allowed to use them. So I would say the age should be 25 before you can start using things like that. And it's mostly because of the brain development. So yes, I am for legalization of nearly any drug, and I'm cool with people drinking and smoking and vaping and all that. But I think the legal age to do all of that should be raised to 25. I am unabashedly pro life. In fact, I would say that if you really want to understand my views on pro life, then just look to the Catholic Church. Most of what the Catholic Church says, actually, everything the Catholic Church says about being pro life, subscribe to that. I really don't have a choice anyhow because I am trying to be a devout Catholic. I still mess up a lot. Death penalty, that's another one that's important to me, and that's where I tend to be a little more liberal in that I think nowadays we don't need the death penalty. And even with horrendous crimes that involve children, I think those people should be locked up. But when you think about it, look at what happens to the people who do that. They get locked up in prison. And another reason, I suppose, that I would be against death penalty is I like to see those people suffer in prison. And they do suffer. I watch a guy on TikTok all the time. He was in prison for, I think, 5, 10 years, something like that. And he talks about how child molesters and people who hurt children and women too, they they the guards usually turn a blind eye when something bad happens to them, and bad things do happen to them. So you know, I can still be pro life and say that yeah, I don't want those people to go to death, the death penalty, because they're going to be tortured most of their life anyhow, and I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. That's not very Catholic of me. One of the sins I struggle with the most is anger. I have a strong sense of anger and a strong sense of pride at times too. So if you ask my fiance what my biggest problem with sin would be when it comes to the seven deadly sins, it would definitely be pride and anger. But my anger is usually a patient anger, and I plot and plan things out. So as much as I try to be a good Catholic, I do struggle with those. I don't really struggle with many other issues. I definitely don't struggle with sloth or envy. I don't really struggle with lust much either. But pride and anger, I get struggle with those. What else is there to know about me? So this Rumble account, I was posting the same videos I was posting on YouTube, but I decided to cut back on that, and I've decided instead to start doing live videos. And a lot of my inspiration came from watching people like Nick Fuentes and Tim Pool and Andrew Tate, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. Even though I don't really listen to Candace Owens much anymore, but her too. A lot of inspiration comes from all of these people that I have seen on Rumble or on YouTube or on TikTok, places like that, Facebook, Instagram, X. And I would like my Rumble accounts, the lives that I do on this, I would probably talk a lot about politics and the news on what's going on. And what I would prefer to do is, like I said, I like to listen to Tim, and I like to listen to Nick. And I'll probably listen to some people, get their take on things, and then I'll come in once a week and put my new take on what's going on and what I think about it. And that's my other plan, is to make this live stream once a week until I know that it's good, and then I might build up from there. We'll see how it goes. I don't know yet. I've connected this to my Facebook and my YouTube as well, but I might not connect it to the YouTube because I have an intro video that YouTube might not like. I think that's really it. I don't really have much more to say other than that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, whatever it is, guys, y'all can let me know in the comment. I guess these lives stay on the platform, and if they do, just leave me a comment down there. I'll respond. Oh, and another thing, this is probably not going to be shocking to some of you who know Nick Parentes, but I do have a soft spot for some. Hmm, I'll save that for another video because this is connected to YouTube, and I don't want to say anything stupid to mess up my YouTube. And my YouTube's monetized, so I don't want to do anything dumb. Not yet, anyhow. Just know that I do get animated. I will start saying things that I probably shouldn't say, and I will not say that stuff on YouTube. So there you go. Let me know what y'all think in the comments section. I will probably start doing these now. I'm in the Philippines. So right now, Eastern Standard Time in the USA is 13-hour difference, 13 hours behind Filipino time. I will probably, for sure, the live stream will always be on a Saturday. In Filipino time, I would prefer to do it earlier in the morning, probably around 9 or 10, but I still haven't fleshed that one out. So give me some time, and next week, just know that I'll be back on Saturday. I just don't know what time yet. Probably earlier in the morning in Filipino time, which is later in the night in USA time. But there you go, guys. That's it. That's all I got to say. I hope y'all have a good day. As always, know y'all are valuable and that you matter. God bless and peace.